Hello everyone, this is Anil Ramtreater, and today I'm going to talk about a topic that's very important and critical when it comes to getting people into your business, either as a customer or as a business partner. For my 20 years experience in the field, one thing I noticed over and over with network marketers, and it doesn't matter what company they're in or what opportunity they're talking about, a lot of the times I notice that people don't take the time to master and fulfill on the role that they're actually playing at the time speaking with someone. Did you know that there are 3 effective steps to enrolling someone or getting someone in your business? The first one is you must master becoming great at sharing, which is letting people know why you're doing what you're doing, what you're up to, why you chose the company you're in as the vehicle to get you where you want to go. The second thing is becoming effective at inviting that person now to join you and as well to come along with you to take a look at what you're up to see if it can add value to what they already have going on in their life. And the last and final step is now effectively enrolling that person to become part of what you're doing, either as a customer or either as one of your business partners. All 3 steps require you being very present and being available to make sure that your audience is paying attention and they're actually listening to you. So let's do this exercise or webinar right now so you can actually understand what it is I'm speaking about. So remember, when it comes to sharing, inviting, enrolling, it's important not to mix the 3 steps up when talking to someone. So I always, in my trainings, you'll always hear me say, pretend you're wearing a hat. And when you're wearing that hat, just imagine at the front of that hat is written the purpose or the role you're playing right away. So for example, if you're sharing about why you're doing what you're doing, on your hat should say sharing. If you're now switching to inviting, your hat should say on the front, inviting. And finally, the last hat you should have on is called enrolling. So remember, it's critical not to mix up the hats. I see sometimes people being all 3. They're sharing, inviting, and enrolling in the same conversation, which confuses the living daylights out of people. And then people nod politely and they're agreeable because they don't want to offend you, but quite frankly, they're confused. So let's get this really clear for you today. And I recommend to those of you that have a struggle with knowing when to share, when to invite, when to enroll, to watch this training over and over until you have it really down to a science. Okay? Now, let's talk about sharing. Sharing is when you're talking to people about your involvement in GWT with your 2-minute story. How did you get involved and why you got involved? So I'm going to share my story right now. So let's just say I'm speaking with you. Your name is Bob, and we know each other, or we've connected. We're building like and trust. I'm getting to know you as a person. And now it's my turn in the conversation or the relationship to share my 2-minute story. Now my 2-minute story may not come up in the first connecting with you. It may come up maybe in the second or third or fourth conversation I have with you. But at some point, you're going to want to know what I'm up to, what do I do, why I'm in GWT. So at this point, I've already gotten to know a lot about you. So I know what your pain points are. I know what's not working. I know what you want out of life. I know what you want to improve on. I know what's missing because I've been gathering that information all along, getting to know you. So that's very important for you to do, okay? Before you get into sharing, inviting, and enrolling, you want to make sure that you understand and know some things about your audience. Very important. So here's my 2-minute story. And again, your 2-minute story is unique. It's yours. Use it. Don't use mine. Use your 2-minute story. So here's my 2-minute story. Well, the reason I'm involved in GWT is very simple. I was in a previous company prior to GWT. I was with that company for 10 years. And the owner got cancer and passed away. And so my entire business fell apart. And I was looking for another home. So fortunately, I was very good friends with Mr. Rene Liao, who is the youngest millionaire in GWT, earning $100,000 a month residually and $1 million a year. He's been with the company as one of the original pioneers back in the day when the company was getting going. I decided to reconnect with Mr. Rene Liao when I moved back to Toronto after being gone 10 years and living all over North America. So when I moved back to Toronto in 2014, the beginning of 2015, I met with him. I got to understand what GWT was all about. I saw that the system he was following and teaching made sense. And I love how he was teaching tax savings and showing people how to access the fashion and how to get paid wearing and showcasing the products. And so when I looked at the entire business model and I looked at the system he was using, it made sense for me to partner with him. So I partnered with Mr. Rene Liao in 2015, and I got to work and started sharing with people in my life how they as well can benefit from being in GWT with whatever they want in their life by me sharing my story with them and inviting them to join me on my journey and us partnering together to work along with Mr. Rene Liao as our mentor. And that is my story about why I chose GWT. So currently I'm looking for a handful of key people to partner with me, to join me, so that together we can work with Mr. Rene Liao and continue learning from him, so that at one point we can create whatever we want for ourselves and our family. So you see, that's my 2-minute story, ladies and gentlemen. Very simple. It's to the point, it's real, it's truthful, it's exactly what happened. I didn't have to embellish anything, I didn't have to make up anything. I was vulnerable, I was open, I didn't have to hide anything. I was just straight up with the person. And that's all you got to do. You see, people can tell if you're not being truthful with them, if you're trying to sign them up into something. People can tell if you really don't care about them. People can tell if you're treating them as a number, which is what 99% of network marketers do. Network marketers are not really out there really doing their best to connect with people and build relationship and share their story. They're just looking for signups so they can advance to that next rank or get that bonus, or they can look good in the eyes of their peers. Don't be that way. Be real. Be genuine. Share your story. Even if you're doing terrible at GWT right now, share that. Let people know, hey, look I'm brand new. I'm still learning. However, I'm looking to partner with the right people so we can join forces and create together. And in that way, I can get what I want and you can get what you want. And it's okay. Like right now, I'm not where I want to be in GWT, but I'm really looking for the right partners so I can take this to the next level. That's it. Be straight up. Be vulnerable. If you can't be that in your sharing, you're not going to be great at inviting and you're going to be terrible at enrolling. Okay? Also, remember, in the sharing, this is where you're actually teaching someone without them realizing that this is a process they need to master and duplicate. So if you are terrible at sharing your 2-minute story and you can't be real and you can't be down to earth and be vulnerable and let people know what's going on, how could you possibly be great at inviting and enrolling? So sharing and mastering your 2-minute story is critical. So let's talk about inviting. Here is where you extend an invite after sharing your story like I just did. So one, you may want to get the person on a call with an edified expert in your My5, which I highly recommend. Those of you that are not using your My5, your business is suffering. Here's how I know. When I don't use my My5, my production drops. So when you look at your business, if your production is minimal, or there's people on your business coming off their monthly IA, or your team can't reach you, or people can't get a hold of you, your business is going to suffer. Okay, so very, very important, get back to using and mastering your My5, which means you must get to know your My5 and who they are. Now, that doesn't mean you have to get along with your My5. That doesn't mean you got to hang out with your My5. That doesn't mean you got to go out to dinner with your My5. You can utilize your My5 to build your business and keep it at a business professional level. It doesn't have to be a personal level. Does that make sense? Because I know we're not going to like everybody. We're not going to get along with everybody. That's okay. This is business. Business has no emotion. So don't be emotional about your business. Point number 2, get the person on a webinar, call, or watching a video, etc., etc. And of course, your My5 is going to be the catalyst or the person that brings up the options for the person to look at GWT. That is not your responsibility. That's the My5. Okay. Step 3, get the person out to a live local event working with your My5. So again, the My5 is going to work with you to get that person out after you've shared your story with them and they agree, yes, I am open to looking at what's going on with GWT because I love your story, I love what you're up to, and I want to see how GWT can benefit me as well. So the invite is actually an invite. It's not a presentation. It's not you telling anyone about a comp plan and how many levels and blah, blah, blah. No, an invite is an invite. Think about it this way. Have you ever been invited, or have you ever invited someone to a party or a wedding or to go out to a club? Well, do you give them the entire breakdown of everything? No, you say, look, I'm going to see the Blue Jays. I have extra tickets. Would you like to join me? Or, hey, I'm getting married. Here's the date I'm getting married. Here's the location. I'd love for you to be at my wedding. Like, do you spend time telling people like about the place settings and what color the tablecloth's going to be, and what kind of wine you're going to be serving or what's going to be on the menu? No, an invite is an invite. It doesn't require you go into an extensive details about what you're inviting someone to. So keep the invite simple. So let's back it up. You share your 2-minute story. Now you move the person to a call with the My5. The My5 now figures out on the call what about GWT they should be looking at, whether it be a webinar call, watching a video, a live event, and then the My5 working with you arranges to get the person in front of that information. It's an invite. Hey, it seems like we have a fit here. I would love to show you more about what we're doing together in GWT. I would love to invite you to, so I hope you're getting the drift. The invite is an invite. Keep it simple. So the third step is now enrolling. Again, keep your My5 in the loop with enrolling, because remember, you're brand new, you're learning. No one expects you to be great at inviting. No one expects you to be great at enrolling. You should be great only at sharing. That's it. Become a master sharer. I have been in GWT coming up on 1.5 years, 2 years now, and I am still telling my 2-minute story. I get people in front of Mr. Rene Liao or whoever else is in my My5. They handle the inviting. When I get the person in front of the information about GWT working with Mr. Rene Liao, now Mr. Rene Liao sits with them, or he gets back on the phone with them to now get them enrolled either as a customer or as a business partner. He handles it from the inviting moving forward. So if you find you're sharing your 2-minute story and you're also inviting and you're also enrolling, stop it. Because remember, it doesn't matter how good you are. You could be great at telling your 2-minute story. You could be a master at inviting. You could be A1 at enrolling. You're actually scaring your prospect, because that doesn't mean they are great at that. Remember, people are not duplicatable. Systems and processes are. I mean, our CEO and founder, Mr. Ramin Masgalu, teaches this in the Forensic Networker. People are not duplicatable. That's why you'll see a lot of network marketers have big businesses and eventually the business falls apart. Why? Well, because they're the ones that's being the deal. So when they're not the deal, or when they don't show up in a city or show up in a town to be the deal, nothing happens, and eventually that business in that city or town eventually dissolves. Why? Because they're not teaching people in those markets how to duplicate a system and process. So ladies and gentlemen, one of the best tips and advice I can give you with sharing, inviting, and enrolling is watch your ego. Don't let your ego get the better of you. Looking good and being the deal will not help you create a powerful business. It just makes you look good and feel good about yourself, but that doesn't mean people in your team and business are duplicating. Okay? For those of you that have been to my events, you will notice sometimes at my events I do not present. I do not train. I have other people in front of the room learning how to be a host, learning how to be a presenter. Sometimes I'll have 1 or 2 people share the presentation. Maybe I'll have someone handle a training module, because it's not about me. My only responsibility is to teach hundreds and thousands of people how to share, invite, and enroll following a system, so that eventually my business is global with thousands of people duplicating a process where they don't have to rely on a nil. One of the greatest things you can ever have in your business, and one of my mentors shared this with me years ago, he goes, Anil, when someone walks up to you who's a top leader in your business and top income earner, and they shake your hand and say hello and you don't even know them, that's a good day. It's a good day when your business is so big that you don't even recognize the people in your business. Okay, so I hope you guys are getting the drift of sharing, inviting, and enrolling. Now let's break it down. Sharing. This is when you're talking to people about your involvement in GWT with your 2-minute story, why you got involved, and how did you get involved. And remember, sharing is not selling. So you don't have to enroll someone in the sharing and sign them up right away. Now, if you sense they're ready to sign up, of course, put them in. Because remember, some people just want to get a diamond package to become a customer, to shop and access the product line and save on taxes. Put them in. They may not want to come to a meeting or talk to anybody. That's awesome. However, you're going to need to be present in the conversation to figure out if they just want to be a customer to access the products wholesale. Okay? Now, let's just say they want to join you on the journey, they love your story, and they want to participate with you as part of your team, as one of your business partners. Well, this is where the inviting comes in. So after sharing, this is when you invite people to take a look at what you are creating being in GWT. You also let people know about the mentorship, support, training, and assistance you've been getting, learning how to make GWT work, along with the reasons you joined that you spoke about in the 2-minute story in the sharing. So this is where you need to be vulnerable, make sure your ego is not getting in the way, share your story. Like I said in my story, I was straight up with people. I'm straight up with people. I am straight up. I have nothing to hide. I don't have any agendas. I'm not pretending to be someone I'm not. Okay, I'm about being real. So figure out with yourself how you can master that. And remember, as a side note, it's critical in the inviting that people feel you are encouraging them to look at GWT properly, to see it how you saw it, and that you want them to get 100% of the information accurately rather than them drawing conclusion based on your quick conversation with them. And usually, for some of you, this is where people may bring up, well, is this a pyramid, or is this one of those things where you sign people up and you make money and there's some guy at the top, he makes all the big money and we have to go to meetings? Well, if those things are coming up at this point, then you're not inviting, you're actually presenting. Because the only way someone would bring up those things is you're saying too much and you're actually playing the role of the My 5 rather than just sticking to sharing and inviting. So watch it, ladies and gentlemen. Watch it. You may have to end the conversation and walk away, or say, look, I got to go and hang up the phone because you're just saying too much. So just be careful. An invite is an invite. Like I said, if you're inviting someone to your birthday or a party or to go out or to your wedding, you don't stay on the phone for an hour and give them every single detail. It's a quick call. Hey, I got tickets to the Blue Jays. I have a couple extras. Would you like to join us? It's tomorrow, and we're all meeting at this location for this time. Can I count on you? Yes. Okay, perfect. So you see, it's really short and sweet. The invite should not be a long, drawn-out conversation. Okay? So again, go over this presentation, go over this training to make sure that you're keeping yourself in check with sharing, inviting, and enrolling. Okay? Now, enrolling. After sharing and inviting, so now you have the enrolling hat on. This is when you can present people with the option to enroll into GWT as a loyal VIP customer for shopping, or as an email member to join you on your journey as one of your business partners. That's it. Those are the only two options. However, you will figure out what that option is for the person working with your My 5, because remember, your My 5 at this point is going to come back to the table, either have a phone call with the person or sit with them at a meeting and answer their questions to figure out what they want. It's very simple. This is not about signing people up in GWT. This is not about hard closing people. This is not about putting people in a corner in a meeting and trying to get a credit card out of them. Nothing like that. This is about finding out what they want and genuinely delivering on that effectively, working with your My 5. So for example, with myself, at a meeting, or maybe when the person has seen GWT through an online webinar or watching a video or going through the website, when I follow up, here's what I'm saying. Hey Bob, it's great that you took the time to look at GWT properly. I really respect that. Let me ask you a question. What did you love the most about what you saw and heard? Tell me two things. What did you love the most about what you saw and heard? Tell me 2 things. And then I write down those 2 things. Now, if Bob said, well, you know what, thanks for sharing this with me, I realize it's not for me, I say, perfect. And then I say, let me set you up with a free VIP account for future shopping where you can earn rebates and discounts. And I'll give you a $100 gift certificate for taking the time to take a look at GWT and possibly joining me on my journey. Is it okay with you if I set you up? It's free. At the same time, I'm going to say, and Bob, because this is not for you, do you know anyone you can connect me with who you feel at this stage in their life and their journey, they should connect with someone like me with what I'm creating in GWT, working with Mr. Rene Liao. And if it's okay with you, I'd love to call those referrals and let them know what I'm up to and share my story with them to see if they would love to partner with me in GWT. So set up the person with a VIP account, get referrals out of them. Okay? For the people that say no. For the person that says yes, these are 2 things I really loved about what I saw. 1, the tax benefits. 2, learning how to wear luxury designer fashion and getting paid. Now, whatever answer the person gives you, ladies and gentlemen, is the correct answer. Why? Because that's what matters to them. It doesn't matter what you think they want. It doesn't matter what you think is good for them. It's what they want. One of the biggest mistakes people make in network marketing, and that's why their businesses go nowhere, is because they're so concerned and caught up in telling people how great their business is and how great the product line is that they don't really pay attention to what the person really, really wants. One of my mentors that's worth millions of dollars told me back in the 90s, he said, Anil, let me share something with you. People don't care what you have to say unless they're listening to what you have to say. And the only way they will listen to what you have to say is you must master speaking to their listening and what matters to them. Stop telling people how great you are. Stop telling people how great your company is. Stop telling people how great everything is, and find out what matters to them. When you really, really get into someone's life and find out what matters to them, you have their attention. And you are actually genuinely showing concern for their well-being. That takes skill, and the people that master those things make millions of dollars. So ladies and gentlemen, when people tell you the 2 things they love the most about what they saw, here's the next step. Bob, that's amazing. You saw the benefit with tax savings and you want to learn how to wear the luxury designer fashion and get paid? That's fantastic. Look it. Let me get Mr. Rene Liao back in front of you, because remember, I'm learning from him. He's my mentor. I'm brand new. And so for him to enroll you properly into GWT with what you want, I have to bring him back to the table. So let's set up a phone call. Let me get a hold of him, and I want you to share on the phone call with him the 2 things you love the most about what you saw. Now, the other scenario, ladies and gentlemen, is if you're at a meeting, when the person shares with 2 things they love about what they saw, you want to grab them and say, great, let's go up and share this with Mr. Rene Liao or whoever you're working with in your My5, and let's share with them the 2 things you love the most. And then you take the person up to the expert and say, hello, Mr. Rene Liao, how are you this evening? Fantastic. Look at my friend Bob came out tonight and he sat through the presentation and training. And Bob, can you please tell Mr. Rene Liao the 2 things you love the most about what you saw? And then once he shares that with Mr. Rene Liao takes over the conversation, because he's the one that's handling the enrolling, not you. You're just standing or sitting quietly and listening and learning. Because the more you learn about enrolling, eventually when Bob joins and he starts sharing his story and inviting and enrolling, eventually in time, you are going to be part of the My5 for his contacts, and now you can be the enroller. You are not the enroller for your personal prospects, your friends and family. You cannot be. Here's why. Pay very close attention. Your friends and family and contacts may have an opinion of you, or they may have a judgment about you. They don't look at you as an expert or having success in GWT. So don't be that overnight success that you're not. Don't pretend to be what you're not. Let someone else be the enroller that's actually documented and has been doing this for quite a while. That's why I use Mr. Rene Liao. Now, do I have experience in the industry? Absolutely. Have I created success stories? Numerous. Did I also personally mentor Mr. Rene Liao in one of the previous companies we were in? Yes, I did. However, it doesn't matter what my past is. Nobody cares about that. People only care about what I'm doing right now. Right now, he is a $100,000 a month income earner. He's the youngest millionaire in GWT. He's got almost a 10-year track record. He's gotten 2 luxury cars from the company prepaid for 18 months. He's been on the cruises. He's been on the exotic getaways. He has 6-figure income earners in his business. He has people making millions in his business. His business is over 110 countries. Is he documented? Absolutely. So guess what? I'm okay with my ego being on the shelf working with Mr. Rene Liao. I have no problems whatsoever edifying him as one of my 5. So ladies and gentlemen, again, it goes back to what kind of relationship do you have with your my 5? And if you need to clean up anything with your my 5, maybe there's something there, do it. Because if you don't clean it up, it's going to cost you millions and millions and millions of dollars. So get a hold of your my 5 and set anything straight that needs to get set straight, clean anything up, apologize for your behavior, take ownership and take responsibility for how you've been, and get back on track building your business. Okay, so remember, there are 3 hats: the sharing, the inviting, and the enrolling. Do not mix them up. They all are very important and very critical for your success in GWT. And so in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you for being on this training webinar. Play this over and over and over again till you have it straight in your mind, the difference between sharing, inviting, and enrolling. Watch this together with your team. Watch this together with your leaders. Make sure everybody on your team and your leadership, they are straight with the difference between sharing, inviting, and enrolling. And I wish all of you the success you want in GWT, and I'm always available. You can message me. If you see me at an event, grab me. If you have any questions, reach out to me. And so I want to wish all of you a wonderful day, a powerful week, and a very productive year. So again, this is Anil Ramchariter as part of the LCGE leadership team in GWT. I want to wish you a fantastic day. Enjoy the training. Bye-bye.